Senator John Kennedy, Republican from Louisiana. So Jill Biden, the First Lady, lamenting that all of these crises have beset her husband and not allowed his domestic policy agenda, his foreign policy agenda for that matter as well, to go forward, that it's been sidetracked. But when it comes to things like gas prices, inflation, the war in Ukraine, which she said nobody saw coming, how much of this was unforeseen and how much of this is a self-inflicted wound?
I'm sorry the First Lady is not enjoying herself more. Imagine how the American people feel. They don't get free food and free housing or a free helicopter or a free plane or several free cars and a staff of thousands. Here is a cold dish of truth, John. You reap what you sow. Go woke and go broke. And that's the reason that the results of President Biden's policies look like the aftermath of a bar broil. President Biden has chosen to blindly follow such masters of the universe as Senator Bernie Sanders, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, and the people on The View. Take inflation. This inflation was made in Washington. At President Biden's encouragement, the Federal Reserve printed too much money, Congress spent too much money, and President Biden forfeited America's energy independence. And if you disagreed with any of that, the president called you a racist or a misogynist or a Nazi.
Yeah.
Now, the Federal Reserve has started reversing that policy. President Biden hasn't. And I would suggest to him that the solution to a fantasy is to stop indulging in it.
Yeah, he's still got Build Back Better on his mind. Now, the comments from the First Lady came at a fundraiser for the DNC on Nantucket, at which, according to the New York Post, she said, the president had so many hopes and plans for things he wanted to do, but every time you turned around, he had to address the problems of the moment. Every presidency is beset with crises. It's part of being president. But other administrations have been able to deal with the crises and also pursue their policy agendas. Why is this president incapable of doing that?
I don't know. Some think that age is not a guarantee of wisdom. That may be part of it. But I think the real reason is his policies. I mean, look at the border. You know, they say, oh, woe is me, we've got a crisis at the border. Well, Mr. President, you created it. If you want to solve it, just go back to the policies that were implemented the day before you took office. I mentioned inflation. Another example is crime.
Yeah.
Well, when you persistently defund and disrespect the police, policemen are going to quit. And the solution is to stop defunding and disrespecting the police, stand behind them, encourage them to enforce all laws, the big ones and the little ones. I mean, you don't have to be Einstein's cousin, John, to figure all this out.
You know, when you take a look at this New York Times Siena poll that came out a number of days ago, which really is disastrous for the president, there are so many people across the board that do not want to see him run again. When asked whether or not Biden should be the nominee in 2024 or another candidate, young voters 18 to 29 years old, 94% said another candidate. White voters, 70% said another candidate. Hispanic voters, 63%. Black voters even had a majority, 47%. Now, the fact that so many Democrats are now openly talking about not wanting Biden to run in 2024, does that suggest that he is a victim of unexpected crises or not up to the job?
Well, I could spend an hour on that. I realize the First Lady's not having a very good time, but imagine how the president feels. He is less than halfway through his term, and he's already a lame duck. The majority of Americans think he shouldn't run for re-election. The majority of Democrats think he shouldn't run for re-election. A lot of his colleagues are already talking about running against him. And the only way he's going to find his footing, in my judgment, and the only way that the American people are going to be better off is to reverse his woke policies. It's just that simple. You reap what you sow. Otherwise, I mean, the American people are just going to continue to not trust him with a glow stick.
Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, thank you for joining us. By the way, stay tuned for our woke segment on anthropology. I think you'll find it fascinating.